Are you wondering what the housing market has done here in Greeley in the middle of February? If so, keep watching because we're going to go through the market in a little bit of detail to give you an overview of what is happening in the real estate market here in Greeley.
It's all about local.
Hi, my name is Jamie Eklund and I'm a local business owner and entrepreneur here in Greeley, Colorado. Now on this channel we talk about everything local to Greeley. If you are as obsessed with local to Greeley as I am, then join the club. Alright, so we are in the middle of February 2023 and I'm going to give us a little bit of an overview and some details about the housing market here in Greeley, Colorado. Now, I'm going to compare January this year to January of last year to kind of give us some perspective. Now remember, last year this time, the housing market was insanely hot and it has substantially cooled down from that. So it's always about perspective. Now, if we look at January last year, 2022, we had 93 houses on the market. January last month, 2023, we had 158 houses on the market. That's substantially more. But what's interesting is this. January last year, 2022, we had 160 new listings come on the market. And then this year, we had 116 new listings. So even though we have more houses on the market this year than last year, we still didn't have as many listings come on the market. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that housing is sitting on the market longer. So to prove that point, we look at this month's supply. Now what does supply mean when we talk about supply? Supply means how long will it take for the housing that is on the market to be sold if no new houses come on the market. And so last January in 2022, we had 0.6 months of supply. So a little over half a month of supply on the market. This year, 2023, we have 1.1 months worth of inventory. So if we didn't sell or put another house on the market, we would use up all of our supply in a little over a month. So that's almost double what it was in 2022. Now, before we get too, upset and worried about that, let's put that in perspective a little bit. What economists say a balanced market looks like is 6 months of supply. And we're just a little over a month. So even though compared to last year, it's substantially more, compared to a completely healthy balanced market, it's actually still pretty fast. And so that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm a realtor here in Greeley, and so I'm just going to give you kind of my 2 cents of what I'm seeing in the market. I showed a house the other day to a couple. We saw it the day it went on the market. Now this property was priced correctly. It was in gorgeous condition, and it was ready to buy. It really was done well. Now that property got an offer by the end of the day. Now I'm not seeing that a lot, but I am still seeing it. So from a buyer's perspective, here's my advice. If you find the right property at the right price, then buy it. The last house that I bought in Greeley for myself, I wasn't a real estate agent back then. It was in 2009, back at the very bottom of that bubble. When it came on the market, I saw it that day. It was a bank-owned property. I put a full price offer in, and my father-in-law thought I was crazy. But I had been looking at property around Greeley. I knew what the value was of the property, and I knew it was priced well, and I was perfectly willing to pay for that. Now, 5 years down the road, I sold that property, and I was so glad that we had bought that property because we made quite a bit of money just buying it, fixing it up a little bit, and then selling it. And so, that being said, just because the market has slowed from what it was last year, for buyers, know what the property is that you want, and don't be afraid to be kind of aggressive when it comes to writing an offer. Now that being said too, it is really nice right now because a lot of the buyers that I'm working with, sometimes they're not sure if that property is right for them, and I can actually say, hey, why don't you sleep on this one and then we'll talk in the morning. That is really, really nice. Buyers really enjoy that because now they don't feel like they're backed into a corner and they have to make a knee-jerk reaction or decision all the time. So that is still true in the market today. Now, sellers, take advice from this as well. When it comes to listing your property, a year ago, quite frankly, you could put any number you wanted and you would get offers on it. That doesn't mean it would sell for that because it probably wouldn't appraise for what you wanted. But in this market, it really does matter what you list your house for. Make sure that you're listing your house appropriately, because if it is too high, it will sit on the market longer. And the longer it sits on this market, the more it's going to get overlooked, and the more buyers are going to look at it and say, there's something wrong with that property. I don't think I even want to see it. And some of the buyers that are going to go look for it, they're going to look at that property and then they're going to come and write you a lowball offer because the property has been on the market too long. We're seeing that as well. So buyers, don't be afraid to put offers in on this market. And honestly, like, there are some properties that have sat on the market for a long time. Don't be afraid to write under asking offers on those. Sellers, make sure your property is priced correctly. Now, this market is starting to pick up. We are seeing more activity. We're seeing more buyers come out. It is nowhere near where we were a year ago, but quite frankly, I kind of like that. I did not like the market that we were in. I thought buyers were making decisions they shouldn't have, and sellers were getting a little bit greedy. This market is a lot more balanced, and I think we're going to see that continue. We have seen interest rates go down a smidge, but it's kind of waving. It's not, dropping like it was, back down to 3%. And quite frankly, I don't really think we'll see that. So don't wait for interest rates to get down that low. The other thing that we're seeing a lot of actually is seller concessions. Over the last 3 years, you didn't see a whole lot of that. Today, we're seeing a lot of it. And the reason is because buyers can go in, they can write an offer for a property and ask the seller to pay some of their closing costs, which will allow the buyer to buy down their interest rate. Because ultimately, it comes down to, what's that payment going to look like? If the payment's too high, then don't buy the property. You're going to be miserable. I don't care how nice that property is. But if the payment is just right and you can afford that, it's comfortable for you, and the house is what you want, then do it. And sometimes it's about getting that payment down there and having the seller pitch in and actually put some concessions in to buy down that rate and lower that payment is a great solution for a lot of buyers out there. Now, there's a lot of different programs you can use. I'm not going to talk about those right now. If you have more questions, reach out. I'm not a lender, but I can connect you with some really awesome lenders that can explain the different options and what payments are going to look like and play with numbers for you. Now, like I said, on this channel, we talk about everything local to Greeley. We talk about the real estate market, and we talk about a lot of the local businesses that are thriving here in Greeley, Colorado. Now, let's help them thrive. We're trying to do some small business spotlights. So if you know of local businesses, put them down in the comments. I would love to connect with them, and I would love to help them market themselves to the wonderful people here in Greeley.